What are some interesting or fun Christmas traditions you follow? Always go for a drive by myself on Christmas Day. Best thing ever. I'm from Lithuania and we have this tradition that you cannot eat anything on Christmas Eve until you see the first star in the sky. It's sometimes difficult not to starve, but it makes the feast so much better. My dad would never put names on the presents. It would always be coded for me and my brother. Usually the answer to solving the code had something to do with the stocking. Maybe it was a unique piece of candy I got that my brother didn't, and that connected to the tag on the present. I think my favorite one was when he did a grid coordinate of 2 places me and my brother liked, and we had to Google it. Lol. Loved Christmas with my parents. So I have always lived in a flat and never a house, so mum started the tradition of sending me out into the hallway with little napkin-wrapped packages with candy for each neighbor flat. We never said a word to our neighbors and denied that we were doing it when asked. I am happy to report that this year I am carrying on with the traditional even though I moved out. I don't know why, but these stories make me smile. My dad passed away on Christmas Eve 5 years ago. So, every Christmas Eve day since, we have taken plates of cookies and treats to a local hospice house. We include a note for the families that are spending the holiday there, just to let them know that we are praying for them and know what it feels like to spend their holiday there. My dad was so giving and always bringing treats to others. It's a special way to honor him on that day and get a good cry out before the festivities begin. Every year my family gathers around 1 p.m. and watch the Christmas cartoons from Disney Plus. This, a Serbian or something version of 3 Wises to Cinderella. It ain't Christmas without it. Happy holidays and a Merry Christmas to all. Spiderweb. My mom invented this when I was a kid so that we would get a Christmas present in the morning of Christmas Eve. In Sweden, Christmas is celebrated in the evening of Christmas Eve. Essentially, it's a long string with a Christmas present attached. It starts outside the door of your room and it goes everywhere in the apartment, house. Everywhere. Around doorknobs, behind the pillows in the sofa, under the tables, etc., back and forth, over and under. So you start to roll the string up, just following it is not allowed, and start to untangle the web. When I was a kid, I believed my mom did this because she loved us so much. As a grown-up, I now know that it was a way for her to get 30 minutes of extra sleep, smiley face. Every year for Christmas my mom would buy us all a box of chocolates they sell at the local drugstore. It was always the first gift she'd hand over to us to unwrap, and she would have the biggest grin on her face. This is the 3rd year I'm buying them for my family since she passed away. 1. The load-bearing poles in the entryway we wrap in gift paper. We called the Christmas mosque for some reason. 2. We were allowed to open our stockings whenever, but we have to wait for everyone to open the presents under the tree. My family goes to my grandparents' place and cook/prepare traditional Ukrainian foods for Christmas Eve. After the meal and some tunes, I play trumpet, Dad tortures the violin and Grandpa plays the accordion. We open gifts when the first star comes out. Then, Christmas Day is more relaxed, usually grilling meat and having leftovers. I listen to Last Christmas first thing in the morning and I wear a necklace with a mistletoe for the whole day. It kinda doesn't feel like Christmas if I don't do those little rituals. Perfect. My aunt made us some fancy wooden letters that spelled Merry Christmas. 6-year-old me was told to put them on the mantelpiece and I ended up with an H left over, so I stuck it on the end. It is still always Merry Christmas in our house. I'm 42. Watching Bad Santa. Mine's kinda basic, but growing up, we always had biscuits for breakfast and it's always cards before presents. Now as a father of 3, we do the same thing, biscuits for breakfast and cards before Christmas. It's only something simple, but it's an easy one we all enjoy, especially as this Christmas my daughter finally has teeth and won't just slob a biscuit everywhere, smiley face. It's more so a personal tradition since I was a toddler, but I would always crawl under the tree and lay back. I'd also loved watching the countless lights flicker while taking in the scent of pine. We had this music box ornament that would play and loop Christmas songs. Sometimes I doze off under the tree. The experience often let me feel at peace and just escape from the world for a moment. When my son was younger, he did a Christmas around the world in school. He learned about legend of the pickle. A pickle is hidden somewhere within the tree and whomever finds it gets an extra gift. It is usually something silly and unexpected. I hid the adorable pickle ornament he made that year and every year since then. The kids are always most excited to find the pickle first before opening their presents. It gets a little competitive sometimes, but a fun tradition nonetheless. Every year my wife and I buy an ornament for our tree that corresponds with something that happened that year. So we have a tree filled with all of these weird wacky ornaments like a tennis ball. We started playing tennis that year, Swedish chef, Europe trip, ship captain Nutcracker, our first cruise, amongst many others. It's such a fun tradition in December to debate what we to get and then finding something. And then reliving them all when we put them up. For the past 3 years I've been creating a world in the game VRC and debut it to my friends on Christmas Day. This year most of my friends are joining me and creating a world and we will put it all together. Leading up to Christmas, we have an advent calendar that you can fill yourself so it gets chocolates. My brother saves the days where it would be my turn until I get home from school for the term and I get to do all the days at once, and the pieces of the nativity in it, including a plastic lizard that somehow made it into the Christmas box many years ago, so the Christmas lizard lives in the nativity or on the tree. On Christmas my mom always makes cinnamon rolls for breakfast. My brother and I are allowed to open our stockings right away, but we have to wait until our parents get up and we all eat breakfast before opening the presents together. Pickle on the tree. Someone, used to be my grandmother before she passed away, hides a pickle ornament on the Christmas tree. First person to find it wins a prize, usually money. In Poland, we usually leave an empty seat with a set of tableware and a plate, for a wandering stranger. Happy Cake Day. In our family the mother of the house wakes everyone up with a tray of 5 things, a candle, a gingerbread pig, a red tulip, an apple and a pig made of marzipan. Apparently this has happened on my mother's side of the family for at least 5 generations. We live in Sweden. Anyone else do this? My family decided about 10 years ago to stop the drama and stress around Christmas and letting everyone decide their type and level of participation. Now that it's all voluntary, we all eat what we want. We had sushi the first year we did this, only give presents if we want to, and mostly play board games and chat all day long. I was in Russia and Christmas is celebrated there on January 7th. People do not eat all day until the first star rises in the sky. It symbolizes the birth of Jesus. 12 different dishes are served on the table. Children dress up in costumes and go to neighbors and sing songs. Getting shit-faced with the fam. In Catalonia we have a tradition called shiting Tio. We have magic log of wood with face and a red hat on our houses and we have to feed him a few days after Christmas. So we place food in front of him and it magically eats the food, and in Christmas Eve we sing a song while we beat the shit out of him with sticks and he starts to poop presents for the kids. I live in Russia and we have rather strong winter. Every winter I alone visit my godfather, who has his own castle near Orel, 440 kilometers from Moscow. We celebrate New Year with our dogs and sheep. When New Year comes, I go to hills with sheeps and dogs and watch firework, which lights up all village. I always, before Christmas dinner, go out to look for the first star. I don't really like spending time with my family that much, so it makes me relax and calm down. Exclaiming schmuck schmuck while decorating the house is what my buddy does since he was like 4 years old and we adapted this. My family collects Christmas picture books. Every year we wrap 24 of them, line them up on the mantelpiece, and unwrap one every night and read it together. Every person has their favorite and we kinda know what size and shape they are, but it's still a fun process to pick, unwrap, and read a book together every night of Advent. Number 24 is, of course, The Night Before Christmas Smile. Watching Polar Express on Christmas Eve and making sure to start it at 10:20 so it ends right at midnight. It's not something I do, But something my mom doesn't proves how gullible my siblings are. She leaves out wrapping paper for Santa to wrap gifts with. My little brother 100% still believes. On the other hand, one me and my sister do with our dad is open a present on Christmas Eve, which it's always pajamas. When me and my brother were little, my parents would take us out to look at Christmas lights before Christmas. We would get in the car and drive around the neighborhoods looking at everyone's lights, and we would rate them. If a house had a really good light display, we would sing hallelujah really loud. If a house had no lights at all, we would go bah humbug.